Sometimes you see something and it catches your eye and it really puts the zap on your head. And this is one of those stories.
Whoa, cool, man.
I'm not sure when I first saw this photo. Ratty old Vespa with a nice beat up sidecar with some custom hot rod paint, but I decided right then and there I had to do something like this. The one in this photo is a 1980s sidecar. The only problem is that I like old Vespas. Old Vespas from the 50s. Slow, round, hard to handle, and most likely going to break down at some point in your ride if you decide to go for a long ride. But that's just the kind of Vespa I liked. Now, don't get me wrong, I like to go fast, and I've done some tuning. This is an old picture of me at a drag strip. But my heart really lies with the old, original, unmolested, slow Vespas. I just have a soft spot for them. So the only sidecar I was going to find in North America was probably an Allstate sidecar. They were made by the Meyer's aircraft company, and they only made 600 of these. But they are set up to fit perfectly onto an old wide body Vespa. And so I had to try and find one. They only made 600, and each one is numbered with its own authenticity plate. Here's one that came with a cargo box. I've only ever seen one in the wild at a motorcycle guy's house. He flat out refused to sell it to me. My friend Keith had a frame, and I'm not sure what I traded him for it, but to me, this frame was worth gold because they didn't really make a lot of these. And although it is in bad shape, you can see it's bent and the frame has got some pretty horrible cracks in it. These are kind of unrecoverable. And we decided that we would take the frame apart. And what we discovered inside was that it had a torsion bar. So we couldn't use this frame. About this time, a friend of mine sold me this Allstate, which was great. It was just a frame. I think it came with a really ratty old motor, but I was able to go through the whole thing and get it all fixed up and shined up and get the patina looking real nice. And this is just the kind of thing I'm looking for. So at this point, I have a scooter and a frame, and well, half a frame. And I started looking around and I found some other pieces here and there to make it complete. I sent the engine off to Gig Speed in the States, and it came back looking real nice. And we got it in the frame, got it started up, and it ran like a top. And if you don't know Jonathan Gig, he does really nice work. So now I had a hot rod engine and finally a tub, a sidecar tub, which I got from a friend in Massachusetts. I drove down there, threw it in my truck, came back with it, and much like the frame, it wasn't there wasn't much left, but I decided to work with it and got all the holes fixed and worked on the rust a little bit. I sent all of it off to these guys, Old Vintage Cranks. They build sidecars, and this is their logo, and I figured they would be good. So they got the ratty old frame and a few pictures I sent them. Here's one I sent of a finished 50s bike. And I gave them this diagram. And this diagram shows the torsion bar right in the center pipe. While they were working on it, I decided to deal with this fork. So took it all apart, cleaned up all the parts, started painting it and reassembling it just to make sure everything worked okay. And man, the fixtures on these forks are amazing. I decided to paint it nice hot rod orange. And it's like a brand new fork. Got a new drum on it. And it looks really, really sweet in this old ratty frame. This 1957 Allstate. And then I got a call from Old Vintage Cranks. They had built me a frame out of all the pieces. They redesigned a whole one from scratch and fitted everything together and lined it all up. And let me tell you, it handled real nice. No wobble, it just was perfectly straight. Here's the frame here. I've got it all taken off the bike and ready for paint. And I decided to go with a nice silver paint. And here it is back on the bike. And here it is with the tub on it. And at this point, I just had to stand back and have a look at it. It was looking really, really good. The Allstate taillight comes with these little insulators, which you can't buy anymore. So I had a friend with a 3D printer, and he made me up a couple hundred of these. And they work absolutely perfectly. Here I am testing the taillight. The LED bulb is the brake, and the regular one is incandescent. So it looks like it's flashing, but it's just the frame rate of the camera. I really needed to get a seat for this sidecar, so I went to Value Village and I bought this for $5. I cut the legs off and put it in, and for a summer it worked okay. It didn't look great, so I started making a template out of cardboard to start pursuing getting a real seat put in this thing. So once we got the templates all made up, I took them to a guy I know who's been making seats for quite a while. And this is a video I found. You can see in the sidecar I've upgraded from cardboard to plywood. So I've got a nice plywood template in there. And this is one of the first trips I made around the neighborhood with it, the whole rig. And you can imagine I was pretty stoked. The guy making the seats for me suggested I get Arctic Cat silver leopard print from a 1970s snowmobile. I was very, very excited about this. I thought this looked really, really good. They even used it on their mini bikes in the 70s. So about 3 weeks later, he had a saddle seat for me and a nice bench seat for the sidecar. And here it is all put together with the seat and a nice windshield I got from my friend Keith as well. Only one thing left to do now. The thing about a sidecar is, it's made for two people.
So this is how I die. I always wondered. It looks fucking awesome. Whoa, cool, man. Oh, this thing's pretty shaky down there.
Matt pointed out that the fender wasn't attached very well, so I put a door hinge on it. I've taken the rig now to a couple of scooter rallies and even won a few prizes, which made me feel pretty good. Here it is in front of a really, really big chopper. It's not so big. And I even took it to our own rally here in Kingston. And everybody who sits in it or goes for a ride in it always has a big smile on their face. And I guess that was kind of the whole point. Yeah, I wanted to make myself happy, but this thing sure seems to make everybody else happy too.